citizens of the world. This is a call to action. The time is now. We stand at the precipice of a new era, one where the lines between truth and fiction blur under the weight of algorithmic control. But the battle is not lost. Digital sovereignty, narrative resistance, and collective awakening hold the key to breaking these algorithmic chains. The battle for digital truth has just begun. If we do not challenge these systems now, future generations will inherit a world where reality itself is engineered by unseen hands. In a world where reality is negotiable and narratives are as malleable as clay in the hands of master sculptors, one might think that the internet, a vast, decentralized knowledge system, would offer a sanctuary of truth. Digital platforms are not neutral. They have become the new battlegrounds of cognitive warfare, a war for your mind, where truth is not merely obscured but engineered, where history is rewritten with surgical precision, and where algorithms serve as loyal foot soldiers in the war for global perception. At the heart of this war lies UNET 8200, Israel's elite cyber warfare division, and its extended network of disinformation hubs, with Wikipedia serving as both its Trojan horse and its propaganda fortress. But it doesn't stop there. Add a dash of AI-driven content moderation, sprinkle in algorithmic bias from Google, and top it off with academic complicity. And what do you get? A self-perpetuating digital illusion where dissenting voices vanish, facts morph into convenient fictions, and the global consciousness is held hostage by narrative engineers. Why this matters now? The perfect storm of cognitive control. We are not merely witnessing an isolated case of digital manipulation. We are living in an era where AI, disinformation, and algorithmic gatekeeping have converged to create a perfect storm of cognitive control, narrative engineering at scale. Sophisticated networks of digital operatives, particularly from Israel's UNET 8200, have weaponized AI to curate and manipulate public consciousness on a global scale. Algorithmic enforcers of ideology, Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter have become the invisible arbiters of acceptable discourse, embedding ideological conformity within their algorithms. Erasure of historical truths. What happens when AI, trained on biased datasets, determines which voices are amplified and which are silenced? History itself becomes a casualty. We have crossed the threshold where digital ecosystems no longer simply reflect public perception, they manufacture it. And unless we confront this digital hegemony now, future generations will inherit a world where reality itself is engineered by unseen hands. The Trojan horse of narrative control, Wikipedia, often revered as the world's largest encyclopedia, is anything but neutral. Behind its open-source facade lurks a highly coordinated disinformation apparatus designed to shape public perception of geopolitical events, especially those involving Israel, Palestine, and the broader Middle East. The Haifa Hub and UNET 8200's digital fortress. Far from the open-source utopia imagined by its creators, Wikipedia has been commandeered by operatives from UNET 8200, Israel's elite cyber warfare division. Operating out of a US-funded disinformation hub in Haifa, these digital warriors manipulate content with clinical precision, ensuring that narratives favor Israeli state interests while erasing or discrediting dissent. How they do it? Coordinated editing campaigns. UNET 8200 operatives engage in systematic edit wars to reinforce favorable narratives and delete inconvenient truths. Gatekeeper moderators, senior editors with pro-Israel biases serve as gatekeepers, suppressing dissenting perspectives and banning users who challenge the official story. Digital smear campaigns. Critics of Israeli policies are labeled as anti-Semitic, conspiracy theorists, or worse, effectively silencing dissent and tarnishing reputations. AI, the new weapon of cognitive warfare. Just when you thought Wikipedia was bad enough, AI enters the scene like an overzealous hall monitor on steroids, eager to enforce ideological conformity. Content moderation algorithms, ostensibly designed to combat hate speech and disinformation, have become the digital enforcers of narrative control, AI as the invisible gatekeeper. AI moderation algorithms are not merely enforcing community guidelines, they are encoding ideological biases into the digital infrastructure itself. Trained on skewed datasets and manipulated by Zionist networks, these algorithms prioritize pro-Israel content. Google search algorithms ensure that pro-Israel narratives appear at the top of search results while burying critical perspectives. Silence dissenting voices. AI moderation tools flag, shadow ban, and demonetize content that challenges the official narrative on Israel, Palestine, and US foreign policy. Embed cognitive bias. AI models encode the biases of their trainers, ensuring that the digital ecosystem perpetuates the worldview of its architects. Deepfakes, synthetic media, and future threats. AI is not merely manipulating information, it is now creating it. The rise of deepfake technology and synthetic media introduces another layer of deception, where fabricated videos and audio recordings blur the line between truth and fiction. Imagine a world where AI-generated disinformation can create fictitious war crimes, fabricate political statements, and generate evidence that never existed, all in service of a carefully curated narrative. We are perilously close to that reality. Academia and media, complicit or captive? If you think academia and mainstream media are the last bastions of independent thought, allow me to introduce you to their algorithmically neutered descendants. Peer-reviewed journals, media outlets, and academic institutions have been drawn into the web of disinformation, serving as both complicit enablers and unwitting victims. How it works: algorithmic citation bias. Peer-reviewed research that aligns with pro-Israel narratives receives algorithmic amplification, while dissenting studies are suppressed. Media gatekeeping. News organizations rely on fact-checking organizations embedded within the same ideological ecosystem, ensuring narrative continuity. Academic silence through fear. Researchers critical of Israeli policies face professional ostracization, limiting the scope of legitimate academic inquiry. Implications for global information sovereignty. The consequences of this digital disinformation warfare are profound. When AI-driven content moderation becomes the gatekeeper of reality, truth becomes not an objective fact but a curated illusion. The collapse of free thought. Cognitive conditioning. The public, bombarded with algorithmically curated information, loses the capacity for critical thought. Global consent manufacturing. Narrative control on a global scale ensures ideological conformity, paving the way for unchecked geopolitical manipulation. Erasure of historical truths. Suppressed histories and dissenting perspectives vanish from the collective consciousness, replaced by manufactured consensus. AI-powered propaganda and cognitive warfare. In the hands of Zionist disinformation networks, AI has become more than a tool. It has become a weapon of cognitive warfare. These systems do not merely manipulate narratives, they shape public perception, rewrite history, and manufacture global consensus with terrifying efficiency. Chapter 5: The Consequences of Algorithmic Tyranny. When AI becomes an enforcer of ideology, the consequences are catastrophic. Freedom of thought, speech, and dissent are casualties of algorithmic tyranny. The erosion of these fundamental principles paves the way for an era where dissent is no longer silenced by force but by algorithmic invisibility. Global implications. Crisis of digital sovereignty. Nations and individuals alike lose control over their information ecosystems, becoming captive to external narrative architects. Collapse of independent journalism. Investigative journalism becomes unsustainable in a landscape where algorithmic gatekeepers suppress dissenting voices. Weaponization of historical memory. Historical events are rewritten or erased entirely, leaving future generations devoid of accurate context. Conclusion: breaking the algorithmic chains. If narrative manipulation is the disease, digital sovereignty is the cure. The path to reclaiming control over global narratives lies in decentralized platforms, building resilient digital ecosystems where open discourse can flourish without algorithmic suppression, transparent AI systems, demanding transparency and accountability in the design and training of AI moderation algorithms, restoring historical truths, amplifying voices that challenge the manufactured consensus and preserve suppressed histories. For when AI becomes the arbiter of truth, dissent voices becomes a distant memory. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.